Well, welcome to yet another CarrGuy and SixFan show. It is Halloween, so of course we decided to dress up a little bit. We'll let you guys in the chat try to figure out our costumes before we get too far down the road. So while we wait for a few more people to pile in, we'll just go ahead and introduce ourselves. So I am SixFan of CarrGuy and SixFan show, and that is straight SixFan, my channel name. I like to focus on budget-minded, relatable, creative builds. A little something I like to call offbeat hot rodding. And the guy on the other side of the screen, which I have to point the reverse way I want to go.
My name is Jason, and my channel name is Old Car Auto Guy. And my channel focuses on the day-to-day business of my used car dealership, the occasional project that we have, and once in a while, a few shenanigans, which is a big one that happened today. So we'll get into that a little bit later, though.
Yeah, and so again, we wanted to welcome everybody who has dropped in. Rust Belt Mechanic Corey from Craving Cars, welcome guys. Novitaz has been waiting for this thing to get kicked off a long time ago. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is also the point in this show where we, and then there is our guest from last week, Joshua Snyder, Snydertron 3000. Welcome to the live stream. Go ahead if you guys don't mind taking it a minute and just doing the old right-click thing and sharing the link if you're on a PC, on a Mac. Do whatever you need to do on a Mac because I don't know what you do on those things. And share it, thumbs up, do all that stuff. But yeah, we'll kind of get the show started. And Jason, do you want to kind of lead us off with the topic?
Yeah, so basically every week as we sit and talk about cars, one of the very first things that we always like to do is we kind of like to open up a little bit about some of the automotive chat, and we've been talking about specific vehicles of the certain generations. And last week we talked about the what was it, 65 to 70 Mustang or muscle cars, and this week we're kind of talking more along the lines of the 73 to 79 project vehicle and what we would do with what specific vehicle. Now, you got to remember, this era was leading into the oil crisis, the fuel crisis, and smog and emissions and all that stuff. So cars were losing horsepower, they were losing style. And so we both sat down, we tried to think about what car between 1973 and 1979 would we choose. Well, the funny part of that question is we each already own one. So my 79 Cordoba and Grant's 78
Ford Fairmont.
Oh my goodness. Fairmont, sorry. I always wanted to call it something different. Futura. But it is a Futura, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, so we already own those cars. So we kind of had to think a little bit further outside the box on what we'd do. For me, it was a little bit harder to stay away from mainstream because I'm a sucker for El Caminos, and those probably had to be some of the ugliest El Caminos they ever made, was from 73 to 79. So those early ones, 73 to I think about 77, they were the kind of the old boring style Chevelle front end with the El Camino taillights. But at the end of the day, I would choose one of those. Why? Because they're different and I could make it my own. What do you think over there on your side, Grant?
Well, I know I'm going to surprise a lot of people here when I tell you guys I selected a Ford. I know you guys are going to be way blown away by that. But I did, and I didn't actually go too different of what Jason selected, and that being a 1973 Ford Ranchero, which I previously rendered. This was an idea stuck in my head a long time ago. In fact, let me see. 2010 is when I drew this.
Wow.
But I just thought, and the thing that the El Camino I think kicks the butt out of the Ranchero in is the bed. The bed side proportion is always ugly on the. So if as a bodywork master, I would definitely thin it down a little bit and try to taper that back a little bit. That's kind of my take. And in the meantime, I was trying to pull up a screen share of a 73. Oh, of course. Now my browser's not wanting me to do that. So I guess we'll punt on that.
In the meantime, we had a couple comments in there, and Josh says 78, 79 G bodies. Well, G bodies all along are kind of a cult classic in themselves. Those the GMs anyway. But Rennie LePage has joined in here, and as well as Eford. Terry Eford is there. He's been here for a little bit, and Dirty Garage Mods has just joined us, as well as Trucker Dave from Maine.
All right, so if I do this right, I should have. Nope, nope, that's not what I want. All right, should have dry run practiced this, but we will just go back to the two of us here for a second. But yeah, so yeah, you guys know you've been following the show for as long as you have. Jason and I are a little offbeat, or I've kind of coined the phrase odd bodies, is what I like to refer to this OPEC era of cars, the 73 to 79. And honestly, I think, the designers in Detroit, the way they reacted was just the government imposed regulations, and all they knew to do was like, well, let's just lower the compression on the motors. Let's not do anything else with the motors. And then there was like the 5 mile an hour bumper laws that, it was just everything was an overreaction to something. Everybody just automatically dismisses this era of car as ugly. And by and large, a lot of them are. But when you start to massage things like those bumpers, there are a lot of cars that really actually aren't ugly. It's just we've planted the seed in everybody's head that just overlook them, move on from them, and as you know, like Jason said, we both have one of those. So with that, the co-host duty typically from week to week is to come up with the little tip or trick to share. And Jason, I think you might actually take this a different way tonight if you want, since you have such big news to kind of share with the crowd. But I will just let you take it away.
All right. Well, I wanted to make sure that I had the opportunity to point something out. And we always talk about growth hacks and struggles and this and that. Well, I want to point out a growth hack that really happened to me last night. And it wasn't something that happened just last night, but it's been happening over a long period of time. See, I enjoy hanging out in certain people's live streams. Why? Because it's entertaining. Lots of good chat going on in the live chat. And last night I happened to join Jay Young. If you guys don't know who he is, it's Jay space Young, and he does tractor repairs and heavy equipment repairs and this and that. And anyways, he's pretty comical. He's fun to watch. And last night I just happened to pop on, and which is something that I do regularly. And he asked me, or he had said to me, that he hadn't seen the blowing up of bubbles yet. And I said, well, it's because I haven't released that video. And until I get to 2,000 subscribers, I'm not going to do it. Well, it was because of him that I went into his live stream last night with 1,888 subscribers. And I woke up this morning with 21 subscribers, and therefore pushed me into being able to release the Demise of Bubbles video. So the moral of that story is, besides the fact that we're going to talk a little bit later about that video, is if you guys aren't putting yourselves out there by visiting other channels and jumping in on the live streams and being a part of what they're doing, then you're not going to get exposure. And if you are doing something cool or something that's leading up to something cool as part of your channel, those guys want to see it. And I think between myself, Grant, and all you guys on Instagram that follow me have been doing a really, really good job of trying to boost the hype of this blowing up of my car. So at the end of the day, getting yourself out there, making yourself available to all the other channels that you watch, they're in turn going to see you there on a regular basis. They're going to want to interact with you. And when they see you're doing something cool, they're going to want to share it with all their friends. And that's exactly what happened. Jay called up a couple of guys who were bigger YouTubers, got my name out there. They made a few posts. And at the end of the day, Bob's your uncle. I made it to 2,000 subscribers and beyond. And I was able to release that video, and I didn't have to wait. So that is my growth hack. Get out there, get yourself some exposure. And I've said it before in different shows that we do here. And so the next big thing is what's going to get you noticed on YouTube.
And that's kind of, that goes hand in hand with what this show is about. You guys can get your practice run in here. Interact with each other in the chat. You've probably have picked up followers. I'm sure we have a good regular following. So, and with that, some of those people who recently jumped in, Sam's Garage, of course, our buddy Kip over at America Bumper to Bumper, Trucker Dave, Maine, mostly Mopar IH, Classic Ride Society, and if I missed one, I think I started with Sam's Garage. Anyway, welcome,
Steve
guys.
Shed.
And just remember, please share the link. Let's grow this thing. Let's make it more of a mainstay. Reminder, if since we said it at the outlet of the show, you guys want to take a guess at what Jason and I, or who Jason and I are dressed up as tonight, feel free in the comments to drop that as well. We want to just want to have fun with that. So again, congratulations, Jason, on the 2K. I mean, it'll probably be 2,200 this time tomorrow at the rate you're going. So just keep stroking that beard and that success. And
well, hey, if you can't have fun with your beard at Halloween, what can you do? I half thought for a split second I would trim it a little bit differently, but I couldn't bring myself to touch it. So I figured, why not do this? And I changed my glasses, so you guys might, I don't know if you can, I get too much glare off them, but you can see my glasses are a little bit kind of almost blend in with my face. But at the end of the day, I did this in relationship to my video that got blown up today. So maybe that'll give you a little bit of a hint.
And Steve's Shed has just dropped in the meantime. Well, one of the things I wanted to do, we always try to highlight a channel, build of some sort, just something cool car-wise to the live stream. So I figured on the heels of our discussion of odd bodies, I was going to just kind of run through one of my favorite all-time car renderers out there is Ben Hermance. And he did this series for Popular Hot Rodding a couple years back where the concept of the article, it was called The Spirit of 76. So they challenged him to take cars from the model year 1976 and just add a little style to them, a little flair, a little have fun with it. And so looks like Steve's Shed may have guessed. Right?
We have a winner.
So we will figure out
oh shoot,
what we'll do with that. But so that still leaves me. But anyway, so Ben Hermance, and this is a guest that honestly we're gonna try to shoot for an interview for season 3. We'll be talking about season 3 here in a little bit. I kind of want to get him on this show. I think it'd be a really fun interview. But anyway, 76 Mustang 2 is one of them. There's Laguna up here was one of them. The 76 Olds Cutlass 442. Of course, this is sort of my gig. This one, 76 Torino. He did a Dodge Aspen. In fact, this is one of the bonding moments that Jason and I early on had when we first discovered each other. I went to his Instagram and blew him up, and before I even knew he had a Cordoba. Of course, Jason, yours is a little older, so the front grille style is a little different on the 76, but Pontiac Ventura. He's got an Oldsmobile Omega as well. Anyway, go check it out. Google Ben Hermance. It's basically spelled as it sounds. Spirit of 76, and you guys can spend the time looking at this. But Novitas, he was doing kind of just trying to basically 4th gen Nova here. The acronym Nova basically spells out, your Ventura. V for Ventura, A was Apollo, O for Omega, N for Nova. There you go. So X bodies, I believe, is what those guys are. Jason, anything you wanted to add? I mean, I kind of just blabbed on for a second. Oh, there's a 76.
Yeah, no.
Let me find. There's a 76 Trans Am, but take it away. I'll try to find that in the meantime.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that, looking at some of these renderings and is very Chip Foose-esque, so to speak, is, he where you can take basically any vehicle and with your rendering, turning into something desirable, regardless of the vehicle. And I find that with this guy here is he's doing just that, taking there's a plain Jane Pontiac Firebird that's just it's nothing special until he renders it into something pretty cool. So that's what makes me think of these is watching overhauling and how they just take a plain Jane old car and turn it into something really, really cool.
Yeah, and there's the Omega. Anyway, that's and Jason and I talk about it all the time. The reason why we like what we call these odd bodies, 73 to 79. I might even extend that to 81 in some circles. Like the second gen Camaro and Firebirds, they kind of changed their body style in 82. But it's just you go to car shows so often, and you kind of see the same thing over and over. This is just our way of expressing ourselves. Like, hey, I think you can still have a pretty cool BA car, without having to be what everybody else has. So I'll just stop the old screen share now, and but with that leads us up to our channel updates. So Jason, why don't you tell us a little bit about what to expect with your channel coming up?
Well, there's not really much going on these days. Just a little bit of blowing things up. No, obviously, if you guys haven't seen the Demise of Bubbles video yet, it went live on a premiere at noon my time today, which was 11 Eastern. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It really is worth watching. We blew up my 2009 Kia, and it was really epic, and it seemed to draw a lot of attention. Since noon, that video is up over 300 views already. It's still going. The subscribers are continuing to come in. But as far as future episodes, the one that's going to air on Saturday wasn't meant to be for Saturday because I didn't realize I was going to get to 2,000 and release this video so quickly. So Saturday's video is a follow-up to the Demise of Bubbles, and we're basically kind of going back to where we did the deed, and we're kind of recovering our Bubbles from its final resting spot. So that'll be Saturday's video, and on Tuesday we're going back to a little bit of work project on old Grandma. Grandma's got a new look, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Grant, what do you got coming up on your channel?
Well, I think the commenters, if you've been following the Project Blue Fairmont build, you could probably guess what part of the car I'm going to be working on Sunday. But say it with me, brakes.
Brakes.
If you guessed brakes, well, you were right. I did end up, I broke down and just bought a new caliper. I had rebuilt the rear ones. I went ahead and just bought a new one just to be like, what, I don't care anymore. I just want to be done. I did buy the Lincoln Mark 7 parking brake cables, so I can hook up the parking brake as well. That is the good thing about doing what we do. When you run into troubles, so many people have offered up suggestions, and one person, I think it was Impacts Gaming in Garage, had said that with rear disc brakes, he always likes to make sure he manually activates the piston with the parking brake spring before he bleeds the brakes. So I think there might be something there. That all kind of makes some sense to me. But I've got several hypotheses of things to track down, but who knows? I will be working on brakes in some capacity on Sunday. I just don't know if we'll get further. We will obviously get further than last Sunday. I don't know if that means it'll stop and like it's supposed to on Sunday or not. I just have that. That's my attitude right now. I'm so beat down with it's just like I just want to be done. I think whatever can go wrong will go wrong, but I know it will advance some way or some shape or form.
I just think you need a victory. That's all. I think you need to get out there, get that done, and get those brakes behind you, so you can kind of get back to driving it again, and then you can take a look at some different content, or move on to the next portion of that project. I think you're stuck on the same thing. It's time to get that victory, and I think it's coming soon.
Yeah, that's exactly how I look at it. It's like I didn't think it'd take this long. I don't have the list made yet, but I don't want to do any other content though until I can drive it. Like that, I have got to accomplish that goal. But yeah, I'm going to take a break from working on the Fairmont because I just want to drive it and enjoy it for a while. I think I probably won't do the heads until I probably won't tear into the motor till like late February, because with that, knowing how like my radiator took way longer than it should have, and this rear axle swap's taking a lot longer. Um, if it takes longer, I will be burning up the end of the winter and have it ready to go for spring, to enjoy it in the spring. But I know there's some other people who've jumped in, like Ziggy gassed up. I think he's 15 hours ahead of me. So Jason, when we talk about Atlantic time, Eastern time, I don't know what time zone he's in, but he's from down under, another hemisphere away. So it's a truly international affair right now. Um, but yeah,
Well, he's in a completely different day, let alone
yeah,
time zone.
yeah.
Yeah, I also see Toolbox Footage has jumped in there as well to say hi, and I think I saw somebody else. Oh, Tim Hatt, a local fella here in next to getting tongue tied. A local fella who lives in the next town over, who has is a big supporter of my channel, and he says my beard after the big explosion. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So one more thing I forgot to mention to you guys too about upcoming projects. Somebody had mentioned something about cutting the roof off of the VW. So that might be something down the road that may happen, but we still need a name for the VW project, and I keep putting that out in my videos, and the next couple of videos are going to have that. So if you guys have any unique, quirky names for the VW Passat wagon, turbo, blah blah blah, don't hesitate to drop me a line on Instagram, and we'll be doing some posts on that very shortly.
The first punny name that came to mind for your Passat, probably not rated for this family show. So I'll just. Is that bad that
Well,
that was the first one that came to mind?
no, well, I have no problem saying what my first name that came to mind was. Um, it's a Volkswagen Passat, but I was going to call it the Volkswagen ass hat. But that's just me. I don't know.
I was basically just exchanging a vowel somewhere in the for another vowel somewhere in the name, but we'll leave it at that. Um,
Oh, I think I know what you're saying.
well, if I'm not mistaken, nobody in the chat has guessed my costumes, which means I didn't pick a very good one to do. But if the headset was out of the way and you saw the chops, maybe that might help. Maybe not. Might help.
You've been growing those chops all week, haven't you?
Hey, you can check the footage from last week. I had most of this last week.
Yeah, I think Novataz is pretty close to pretty close to the target there.
But I think Trucker Dave Main might be closer. So
yeah. Well, there
we'll
you go.
That.
Ding, ding, ding. I think we've got a winner. Oh, we're getting so way off topic here.
Hey, well,
yeah,
it's Halloween, so it's a special.
So if you guys need to really concentrate on Grant's get up there, the T-shirt kind of gives it away. And if you look underneath the brim of his hat, you'll notice the way it's kind of flipped up there. It's kind of got his name, and there should be some way that you can. No, it's not Joe Dirt, but there should be something related to his look versus his T-shirt. So maybe you guys can. Maybe that's too much of a hint. I don't know, but
yeah, no, that's good. But we're at the part of the show where we open it up for questions from you guys. So if you have any, start thinking of them, because we're more than happy to interact with you that way and throw it that way. We do appreciate, as kind of a smaller crowd tonight, but that's probably mostly because you're out trick-or-treating with the kiddos. So we thank you guys for spending some time with us here on Thursday night. But we do appreciate the fairly regular crowd coming in here every week. So if you guys have any questions for us, feel free to throw them our way.
And Novataz is saying you look like one of the characters from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. I would have to agree. You kind of do.
No phone booth.
Yeah, but it's been what, 25 years since I've seen that movie, so I couldn't be sure exactly which one was which.
Toolbox footage. So we'll so here's the deal. I am Justin Kramer. He's the cousin-in-law, brother-in-law, son-in-law of Steve Darnell on Vegas Rat Rods. So he has two nose rings, the chops and the goatee, and typically always sleeveless shirt. So nobody got it. So that means I didn't do a very good job with the costume, but hey, it was still fun.
That just means you win. I don't know what the prize is, but
Well, speaking of prizes, so I was knowing that Jason had hit 20,000. I was trying to catch up on his other videos from Saturday and Tuesday, the Saturday and Tuesday upload, and so the blowing bubbles lead up teaser one, kind of like talking about parts and pieces they found. He found that chunk of the windshield that had a sticker on it, and I was like, "Hey, you!" So I instantly commented, "You need to start promoting your stickers as blast-proof stickers because you have the proof."
yeah. And I don't know why I didn't think of that when I first saw that. I was just so excited to be able to save that piece of the windshield. But the fact that I can at least try and claim that I have the most blast-proof channel stickers on YouTube. That one survived being exploded by 12 pounds of tannerite. So we're going to coin that as a reason why you should have your very own old car auto guy sticker. If you want one, hit me up.
Definitely do that.
Horny Mike from Counts Custom. No, I wouldn't go that far because Horny Mike doesn't wear a hat for starters. He's always got that spiky hair like Novataz has got going on there
Well,
somewhere.
he's saying if that would have been the costume that I attempted to do, he would have got it, is what he's saying. So,
Meh.
but, yeah, I know it's kind of a
Uh,
niche show. Like, not everybody sees it, not everybody watches it, but I figured it would be most appropriate for the type of show we're doing to dress up as someone in the arena, if you will.
yeah, and like I said, with the whole supposedly long mustache is what I was going for with splitting the beard apart here today. Was I was going for the Jamie Heineman look, and wouldn't you know it, I simply don't have a white button-up shirt. I got lots of button-up shirts, nothing pure white like you always used to wear, and no beret. So if I had the beret, I'm sure somebody would have got it a lot quicker.
I do plan before the end of the night, before I undress from this, to probably on Instagram tag Welder Up Vegas and ask if I could kind of petition my less than serviceable TIG welding skills, see if he might hire me, but see what
Yeah,
kind of
well,
activity that might get, but we'll see.
good luck with that. Yeah, so it doesn't look like there's too many questions on the chat there tonight, but we really appreciate everybody jumping in. And once again, oh, there's a new guy up there, an auto addiction. I don't think I've seen that name. Maybe you already mentioned it once, but I'm just catching it now, a little bit slow here. But if you guys are in the chat and you see names that you don't recognize, go ahead and take a look at these channels and see what their content is. Maybe it's something you like, maybe it's something you want to support. That's kind of what we're here for too, is to help get these guys growing on YouTube just like we are.
Yeah, and Auto Addiction is one of those channels. So he kind of joined the 1,000 subscriber club kind of around the same time Jason and I did, maybe a couple weeks after I did, like early June, I think, if I remember right. So, welcome to the show. If you haven't, Novotaz, yeah, you weren't supposed to tell people about that, but anyway, no.
Wow, this channel just went elsewhere.
Yeah, maybe it's about time to start shutting her down. But,
Okay, yes. So, guys, this is the point in the show where we start to say goodbye and kind of start winding things down. As you guys know, this was the last Thursday of the month. We were supposed to have a guest, but because it's Halloween, we kind of bumped that back to last week where we had Snydertron 3000 as our guest host, and we had a lot of fun with him. Now we are rolling down to, Grant, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 shows left before we shut her down for a little bit of a hiatus over the holidays, and we will be back in the new year. with season 3, kind of bigger, better. We're going to change a few things up. That's something that Grant and I are going to work on, and hopefully have a better and even more entertaining. I don't know how we can get much more entertaining than this, though. Really, honestly, I
This
just
is peak entertainment. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, 2 more episodes left of season 2, so make sure you get in while you can. Yeah, like Jason said it well. Bigger, badder, stronger, whatever. Anything you can rhyme, alliteration, good stuff. Probably the first. I would guess probably the first Thursday after the New Year's when we fire back up. Of course, we'll advertise it on Instagram and Twitter, whatever you guys follow us on. So we'll make sure you guys know about that. So make sure you get in while you still can for the tail end of season 2. But with that, Jason, I'll let you take us away and kind of close the show out.
Yeah, and guys, if you're in the chat and you're not subscribed to Novataz, head on over to his channel. He's got a live stream on on Sunday evenings, and I believe it's at 9 o'clock Eastern time. So head on over there and check that out. Maybe Grant and I might be hanging out there once in a while to help support his channel as well, like he does for us. So we're going to end this video. We want to say thanks to everybody that's in the chat for coming in and saying hi. Impacts has made it a little bit late, but better late than never. So thank you guys. Stay focused on the windshield, not the rearview mirror. We'll see you guys next week.